Today I'm going to do something sweet and short. Is give you some tips of what to do when your routine is no can be completed because you've been out, you are late, and is obviously not enough time. Your children are a bit tired. You are tired, and what can we do to avoid that space of time that we need to every day, and then make our children sleep, feel like they have followed the routine, but obviously it's not possible. When these situations happen is usually when we are out, when we went out for dinner, when we were in a barbecue, or when we were visiting some relatives, and obviously sometimes if the children have cousins, or you are having a very good time, you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to leave, but this is the thoughts that always come to it. My advice is always to decide. If anyone has some comments, I encourage you to put it in here on the wall. I will see them now or later, doesn't matter. But anyway, when this happens is when we usually don't really know what to do. So these tips are for you to keep in mind, and you always remember. When we are out, let's say today is Saturday here, we are invited to a dinner, and we always thinking, oh, should we go for a dinner? Should we take turns? It will be good for the kids. Yes, no. What should we do? Well, the first thing to do is always to start thinking a little bit ahead. If we always think ahead, we are more likely to win the game rather than if we are playing the ball as we go. Usually is the case, but we like to think that sometimes we want to be prepared and we're ready to tackle the situations beforehand. So let's say today is Saturday, is around 4:10, and we are going for dinner around 6:30 to someone else's house, and we're thinking, oh, my children's bedtime routine starts at 7. What I'm going to do for when they start feeling tired, have they have a nap? Not yet. Maybe let's see. Okay, we are heading off to our dinner. We're having good time. There's some friends for my children to play. I have a baby maybe is tired, maybe not. Some of the tips that I can tell you is if you already have in mind to spend a little bit more time than normal over there, and stay in your friend's place, one of the things that you can do is get a bag ready with the pajamas and stuff that you need for them to sleep in the way back, to fall asleep in the car. That's usually something that parents, I see that they like to do, because if the children fall asleep in the car, they just come home and put them to bed. Some parents like to stay a little bit longer in order for them to fall asleep in the traveling time. That's good. But depending on that, obviously, I always ask you to reconsider a little bit the time that your children go to sleep. It's important that you do it, that you think a little bit about them, how late is good enough, or bad, or less bad enough, I would say, so the children can still have a good rest, and and then don't have those wake-ups through the night, because sometimes, besides of being overstimulated, they didn't have a nap, they ate really bad because they don't want to stop playing and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a worry. So we always try to think, be considerate, and think about, like, if you want to stay late, not too late, unless you're ready for that, or your children had a nap before, and then you see that they are okay. Sometimes a good sign for us to know if our children have had enough of that night is to see their behavior, to see how they're acting, if they are really too cranky, or they're happy, or they start fighting, or they start being drowsy. I have one of those childs that as soon as she is feeling sorry, really tired, she started acting a little bit drunkish, and then start falling and start to be a little bit very clumsy in that respect. So we know that's a sign that it's time for her to rest or have a quiet time. So anyway, as I was saying, prepare a bag, and one of the things is you can get them ready before you leave the house of the person you're visiting or wherever you are. Another thing is you can get them ready in the car. That is not a worry. Another thing is if they arrive and they are asleep in the car, you don't have a bag because that was too much to be thinking about it. And you arrive and you can transfer them from the car to the their beds or their cots. Sleeping, do it. Depending on what they're wearing, how clean or dirty they are, make an assessment and decide. I'm going to change, well, if the kid or the child is still wearing a nappy, I recommend to change a nappy, put a comfy pair of pants, and perhaps the top you can get away with. If you want to change it full on, do it. I'm one of those mothers that like my children to sleep really comfy and really, I like to have the peace of mind they're not going to be cold. And sometimes when they're wearing short sleeves, I decide to change them to long sleeves. When they are asleep, they don't feel it, they don't wake up. I'm lucky with that. Sometimes they sort of move a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. They keep sleeping. Okay, and then we have another situation. What happened when you traveling, he's late, and your child didn't fall asleep? He's still awake, he's really late. Let's say our bedtime is usually 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock, and my child is still awake. Usually we thinking what I'm going to do. I am going to do my full routine, not yes. Well, let's see how I go. First tip is arrive home. Don't put all the lights on your house. Keep the tone very light, very all the lights very dim into a very low level. Don't turn the TV. Depending on how your child is, you always can skip shower if obviously if it's not absolutely dirty, or even not if it is and your child is still a little bit, it's too late. Who cares? You can wash the sheets and the blankets. I'm a little bit I always used to think, I like my child to go to sleep clean because he's going to sleep better. But you need to assess, one off situation or this exception, I will say, doesn't really kill a child. It doesn't make anything, it doesn't make us a bad mother or anything like that. So it's just one time. We want our child to rest better and rest straight away. So, and depending on that, let's say my child is still awake, we arrive, it's very dirty, I decide to give a bath. Perfect, doesn't matter. Give a bath and make your everything, your timing, your everything, make it really, really short. Like just go in a very fast pace and say, okay, after the bed, you're going to, after the bath, sorry, you're going to bed straight away. That's what we're going to do. Remember, if your children are a little bit older and they understand, and they were the ones that were having too much fun and they didn't want to leave, remember, in the time that you agree to stay a bit longer, you need to negotiate. Okay, we can stay longer, but remember, if you haven't fall asleep when we get home, you will have to go to bed straight away. We are not going to have our usual book or 2 or 3 or 4 books. We are going to go straight to bed. Are you happy with that? You need to make your child to recognize that's also a good way to start giving them a little bit of authority and start realizing that they can have choices. No, they can make their own choices. Obviously, this is a very unharmful choice. It can be a little bit daring for you because maybe it starts getting a bit cranky, a bit full on later on. But no, it's nothing bad. Okay, so it's good. And this is how you can introduce that, and then your child says, yeah, maybe I want to stay a little bit longer, and it doesn't matter book if when you get home and you give them a bath or not. And he said, oh, book. I said, remember, you need to remember and follow your statements. We said we are not going to have a book. You're going to stay here. You decide to stay a little bit later. I have that issue with my oldest one. Sometimes she she arrives awake, the other one's asleep, and then she wants a book. She doesn't feel tired. She feels like it's the same time that when we start our routines, and it's not. You need to make it very. You need to remind those things to the child and making them understand that you have negotiate and that negotiation is still on board. And this is very good. The very good beginning of a good relationship and how you can start having those foundations for later on in the age of your children. Okay, another tip is let's say they arrive awake and you don't want to give them a shower or bath. What to do? One tip that is always very, very strong is to tell them to brush their teeth, get the pajamas, and go to bed. This is a very small and short routine that you can do. It won't take you more than 10 minutes. It's very important. Let's say the teeth I always think is recommended. However, if you decide, oh, I can be bothered, I'm tired too, I just want to do that, that's okay. Again, repeat, children is not going to die because we didn't wash their mouth for one night. You can do it straight in the morning, you can remind them, you can do that. No, teach them, you can teach them how to recover those habits, you know, that we drop for having some more fun or being a little bit late. This is just very good for you. So once we have this small routine, you put them to bed and say good night. Another tip that is very, very high recommended and works all the time is offering a warm glass of milk. Warm glass of milk helps anyone to relax, especially if they come from a party or from a dinner or something like that. Warm glass of milk, brushing teeth, go to bed straight away. This is a very short routine that can help. What happens if your children still demanding books and still demanding that? You need to be very firm. You need to be determined that it's time to go to bed. And as well, always, as this is maybe your first time that you're going to try these strategies, you need to always remember what you try and what works for you. Some parents that as I know, they like to just stay wherever they are as late as possible. They leave and they make sure the children fall asleep in the car because they don't want to battle. They're already tired, they're having fun, and they say, no, we don't want to battle. They don't care about the brushing teeth, or they just arrive. Obviously, they change them, they make sure they're okay, and they put them straight to bed. That's okay. Plan in advance is always a good thing to do. It's always very good to decide what are we going to do. Agree with your partner, because that's another big reason. Be considerate of your children. If you see that they're not having good time and you're away having fun yourself, but your children is extremely tired, extremely cranky, you need to consider, no, it's not their fault. I bet if they could go home, they will do it. I know sometimes say, well, now is my time, I want to have fun, why I cannot stay? Well, you're a parent, you're an adult, you need to understand better than them, obviously, and we need to reconsider, no, if these kind of situations are not so good for them, well, maybe make early dinners. We make early dinners. We have these very good friends of us that sometimes catch up. They have younger children, and when we say let's catch up for dinner, we catch up for a very early dinner. They arrive at our place around 3 o'clock. We have dinner around 5, 6. We have so much fun. By 8 o'clock, they're tired, the children are tired. We have tried to put them all in the lounge watching a movie. It never works for us. Our children are very active. They're just playing and keep playing until the last minute. So plan ahead. And I will do a summary of the tips. Warm milk, short routine, include the brushing the teeth and straight away, and good negotiation with your children. Always are going to with your children are always working. Remember, be firm, plan ahead, and you will be winning. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. For all those people that came on and maybe leave, and the ones that are arriving now, you can keep watching the video even though I finish. I appreciate your time. This Monday I have a celebration, so keep watching our Facebook page and our Instagram page. We are going to do some cross help to each of the accounts, and you will have something to win there. Okay, thank you. I'm Liliana Amaro, and see you next week. Bye.